All right. My light. Am I live now?
No, hold on. It's gonna tell you when.
Okay, you got it. All right, am I live?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Am I live?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Huddle, huddle, huddle. Save, save, save. Build, sign money. Hold. Save, save, save. Build, sign money. All right. Live, it's Bitcoin Saturday night with Ugly Old Goat. I see Kestutis is on, and we're going to have a special guest. Eat your heart out, Tone Bays. Eat your heart out, Jimmy Song. Eat your heart out, Guacamole Zuko. And eat your heart out, Safedin Amos. We are going to have the Bitcoin Master Chef on, Ugly Old Goat's Master Chef. Now, the reason we're having this show is, of course, we need to have more diversity in the Bitcoin standard movement. These guys goats like to eat meat. We don't have any problem with that, and it's a great diet, but goats eat anything. And you have to be able to welcome in new philosophies. So are you eating Chinese food there, Gus, or are you?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm having some pho. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought all you ate was beef. What's going on here?
No, sometimes I switch around and I say just what the pho, and I go with pho.
Wow. Well, I don't eat that. Goats eat trash, but I don't think you've ever eaten that before. So that's kind of like, is that something that's made out of soybeans or something, or?
No, this is chicken fried rice. There's nothing special.
Fried rice. Yeah. Oh, okay. No. I've eaten chicken fried rice. Well, at any rate, we will be having later on tonight. We are going to have the. I have a personal chef, and in fact, I said, you need, if you really want to be, and he's already an internationally known chef. But I said, if you really want to become internationally known, if you really want to, build yourself up as a chef, you need to get on the Bitcoin standard, because we have these weird eating habits, plus we like to eat, and we'll spend a lot of money eating. And I said, you need to go where the market is. And so I convinced my personal chef. I found the Bitcoin kitchen. Now, if you guys, I just tweeted that out. You want to go and look at that kitchen. It's incredible. As you all know, we just got back on a tour of the national parks in Canada and the United States. And of course, when we came back down from Canada, we went through Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. And we went to the lodge there, and the kids were, they wanted to get something to eat. So we went at the lodge, and I didn't notice all the people coming where the kitchen was. And we weren't really allowed to go out there, but I said, I got to get a picture of this. This is the Bitcoin kitchen. And now maybe there's a better kitchen that has a better view than that. But if there's ever to be a Bitcoin kitchen, it's got to be that kitchen that overlooks the Grand Tetons in the Grand Teton Lodge. So we'll see. We kind of have an open invitation. I don't know how high it up is. That maybe Roger. Oh, Eileen. Hello, Eileen. Are you on there, Eileen? Okay, well, when she comes on, I'll have to talk about, apparently I've been giving too much away, but I'm going to make good on it. So if I said it, I'm going to do it. Is that Eileen? Is she there? No. Okay. All right. So anyway, I'm going to take off my mask now, because we have been working on lots of special and new things. And I got a whole new product line I got to show you. This is nothing of my doing. But this is the G.Lady. And look at that. When I'm hard at work, that's what I can wear now. And look at this. It's a working trading man. Now, a lot of people, they think, well, you're not really working because you're in front of a computer screen all day. Well, I'm not in front of a computer screen all day trading anymore, but I seem to be before a computer screen. But now we can show, this is like our hard hat. So, if you're profitable in making a living or making a sizable income off of your trading, you really need to have the proper attire. And this is one hat with it. Now we've got other hats here. Just incredible what she did. And we have a new I Love Bitcoin hat. Okay. We have a new Bitcoin ugly old goat hat here. Here's another I Love Bitcoin hat. Now, you guys, we're still getting out swag to you members. Like I say, we're kind of learning this business. It's some of, like a lot of packages came back, so we got to send them again. But you'll be getting some kind of hat or T-shirt. Here's another one. Ooh, I like this one. This one's even, man, maybe I should wear this one instead. Look at this. Now that you're really hard at work if you got something that bright.
Yeah.
Hurts my eyes. Then let's see what else I got. I got this one here. That's another I Love Bitcoin. And here's another ugly old, we got an ugly old goat hat. Different styles, different shapes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So that's the deal. And yeah, apparently I want to get, I don't know where the Bitcoin chef is. Is he coming on here?
I sent him a link.
Okay. So he should be getting on. And but apparently I did a show and I didn't know I gave that much away. But my philosophy, again, what I'm trying to teach here is not just trading. That's important. But the whole thing is managing your entire portfolio and getting your business into the Bitcoin standard. Now, one of the keys to success in business that I've found, and I've had when I train salespeople, particularly, and some of them just never get it. I always say, you give more than you promise one thing, and you always give more. And so it's always a surprise that I didn't know. Well, who's that? Is that the Bitcoin master chef?
Hey, how's it going, Ugly? How you living?
No, it's going good.
Coming at you live right here.
Wow. All right, this is Roger Feely. He's the Bitcoin master chef. Like I say, eat your heart out, Tone Bays and Jimmy Song and Guacamo, and also Safety Hamas. We have a real problem in this Bitcoin standard movement. These guys, all they want to do is eat meat and meat alone. And in fact, it's an entire philosophy. They kind of say, well, you want to eat to live. And, I get it, but there's another philosophy and they're really not contradictory. And that's that I want to live to eat. And it's pretty obvious for me that I live to eat. So it looks like you're a master chef. You don't seem to have the problem that I have, Roger. What's going on here? What is a Bitcoin master chef, and what does this diet? What is it comprised of?
Well, I live to eat too, Ugly. When you brought me to that birria stand on the streets of Tijuana, that was one of the best days of my life. Digging into a bowl of stewed goat meat. That's been braised for 20 hours with a bunch of different chilies and onions. So I'm not afraid to eat meat. I actually eat a lot of meat. But I
mean, you ate goat meat. Did you ate goat meat with me? Don't let that out. I'm going to get a bad reputation if fellow goats find out I'm a cannibal.
I thought that was your signature dish, man. What's going on?
Well, it is, but it wasn't public knowledge till now.
You got to give me a list of what's supposed to keep on the low and what I could put out there,
Well, that's all. It's all the dirty laundry's already out. So, and there's a lot more coming. So stay tuned.
Well, I'll tell you though, Ugly. My philosophy on eating is just to eat the rainbow. I eat every single color and every single different just variety. I eat a lot I fill my body with ingredients from all over the world, and I never eat the same thing over and over and over and over and over. It's variety, and I tell you,
I like that. And you know what? That's right. We are, and I love the veggies. Sorry, but I'm kind of different because most kids, hate veggies. I've always liked them. I've always been a meat and potatoes man, but yeah, and you know what? we have to be more tolerant here in the Bitcoin world. We have to have more diversity. And frankly, you know, I'm a pronounced Christian, and you know, nothing's prohibited us. What with us, we can eat and we can drink. You know, the only sin is excess. The gluttony is a sin, but eating certainly isn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I find
So,
sharing food and eating it's a good way to connect.
You found what?
I find
Yeah,
that,
it
that
is,
sharing food is a good way to connect with people, and that's what I'm able to build. Mhm.
And we're working on it now to see just how we're going to have the Bitcoin Master Chef cook for us. Hopefully, we'll be able to let you get you on the kitchen there at the Carnival Cruise and cook up a few special things for us and maybe for a few other people on board the ship. We don't know if we can pull that off. If not, we'll try and work something out down here in Ensenada. But what do you think of that kitchen that I sent you?
Oh, it's glorious. It's a beautiful kitchen.
Have you ever, have you seen it? Do you have a better candidate for a Bitcoin kitchen?
That seems like a Bitcoin kitchen to me, Conrad. That's a beautiful, beautiful kitchen.
Huh?
It's a beautiful kitchen. It seems like a Bitcoin kitchen to me. It's outside and it's got everything that you need. It's got the view and it's got the good life. As long as you've got Wi-Fi, so you can keep going.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought of you, and I had to. Unfortunately, I was planning on kind of tweeting to all of the followers, you know, our trip as it progressed, but I lost my cell phone, and it was just too much of a hassle. But I said, oh, I gotta record that, and I'll send it to Roger when I get back. So, at any rate, that's great. So. That's the deal. So I wanted to outline quickly on the Bitcoin cruise too. Apparently, Eileen's she sent me a note. Apparently I said something. And so I offered that anybody that signed up for the cruise would also get a free lifetime membership. Whoa.
Whoa, no joke.
Look, that's only a 20th of a Bitcoin. And you get, so here's the deal. I said it's too much to give away. And I also offered, hey, if you're already on the cruise and you're going to be, if you're already on the cruise, we're going to give you a free lifetime subscription that you can give away to somebody else. So that's one of the perks. Now I'm going to limit that through next, today's Saturday. So I'm going to limit it through Tuesday. So that'd be September 2nd. Guys, if you're listening to this, if you're already a Bitcoin member and you haven't signed up yet, I will give you a membership to come on the cruise. If you're not a member and you come to the cruise, you'll get a free lifetime membership. And if you are already signed up for the cruise, I'm going to give you a lifetime membership that you can give away to someone as a holiday gift or something like that. And so I would be very, send it to somebody that will value it. And the other thing that I wanted to do was, the other thing that you will be getting that I want to mention is Victor, I can't pronounce his last name, Villa.
I can't either.
Okay. Anyway, Victor Vellicana. He's a engineer, works here in Mexico full time, but he's also working on a project. He was a big follower of me, and also the idea of the most important chart is your equity. And so I had the idea when he visited us. I said, look, if you're an engineer, what really needs to be developed is a sequential system that measures our equity, and we can put it on, BitMEX or other, starting out with BitMEX, so we can actually chart our equity, and we know when it's a time to maybe lighten up, or I do that. I mean, that's how I use it on my trading. So the other thing that you will get if you come on the cruise, you will be getting the beta version of that free. I mean, we are going to develop it. We are going to sell it. But if you come on the cruise, all the cruise members, you're not only going to get lots of swag, particularly if you're VIP, you're going to get a couple $100 worth of hats. And you get, of course, this shirt that commemorates the event. So that's it, pretty cool stuff. And again, that's all I'm working on now between now and the cruise. I'm going to go through the markets a little bit because I joined Kestutis meeting today. He had a meeting with some traders. I don't know if you're going to be able to share that or not. It's kind of, yeah, it's like a private meeting, but hey, you know, he tweeted out to me, he started in July with 2 Bitcoin. And what do you have that thing up to now?
10.5.
Yeah, what impressed me is when he shared it, he did not even show a chart. He says, I'm going to be like ugly and not even show you the chart. The only chart I'm going to show you is the equity box. That, you know, that's, in fact, I even suggest when you start out, only trade your equity box because everybody has it wrong. The equity is the most important thing. The last thing is technical. If you can trade successfully just off the equity box and, you know, randomly, as long as you, or just with a little idea of the market, and you can adjust. Then once you learn that, once you realize that equity is the most important thing, now you can really start applying the technical stuff. Wow, the excitement that was on your meeting today, and I mean, who was it that was Michael or he said
Marcus?
Yeah,
Marcus.
Yeah, he just said, you know, my thinking has been completely changed. I said, I can't believe where I was and what I was doing, and it is. It's that kind of a revelation. So, if you have one, if you want to share that, talk about it a little bit, Gus, and then if we can, I'll send the links later so people can actually watch that. That was a great session.
Yeah. So what Ugly is talking about, we had the lecture today. Is one of those lectures that we have every week, at about 4 to 5 hour lecture, and we're just, you know, learning the main principles and all concepts, and working on ourselves and all these kind of things, and yeah. So today we had one of these meetings, and you know, we had Ugly Old Goat coming on the show, you know, as a surprise guest, and you know, surprised everybody, gave us some good lectures, and there, you know, but the whole project is about, you know, it's called Mixed Trading Arts because I'm mixing those two arts, right? So there was one art of execution, which Ugly is so great at, and the other side was the art of understanding chaos, right? The you know, what you know, what does it mean looking at the market as a natural phenomenon, right? As a completely new, in a completely new way. So take those two arts together, you get mixed trading arts. And that's what the program is all about, is actually mixing the execution and understanding the, you know, the natural fractal analysis kind of thing, and merging them together. And we're trying to do this experiment as with we came up with this idea in a parking lot with Ugly, and that's how it turned out to be. It turned into this mentorship program, and you know, people are changing the way they are. The people are changing the way they think. It's they are the ones who's changing, not as like they're learning some sort of knowledge and stuffing their mind with knowledge. They are actually changing the way they look at the world, right? And they have different beliefs about the market. Everything about, you know, what they see in front is now completely changed. The perception has changed, and then we're halfway in the program, right? So by the end of the program, I expect people to look back at their old the version 3 months ago, and go, wow, you know, what was I doing? You know, like that much of a contrast between how you've been at the beginning and how you come out at the end. So it's all about transforming yourself, you know, and then everything else kind of takes care of itself.
Can you outline? I thought another interesting thing, because you kind of brought it up on your own, and then I asked you more about it. You also have had people that have started with you and then dropped out, and you know, they wanted
yes.
I don't know. And I said, you know, I tried to, you know, that's to be expected. In fact, most people will actually fight what you're trying to.
Right.
Some people, you have to understand, not everybody can get it. They just
no.
And because boy, old habits are hard to kill, you know, and you got to stab them until they're dead. You have to, the way I say it, you know, that's why I have the hodl, save, build a sound money, stupid dance, but it ingrains you. So you have the discipline that you need. So yeah, can you outline about the failures that you've had? I think that's as important as a success.
Right. So we, as Ugly mentioned, we had a couple of students dropped out. You know, one of them saying because of the personal reason, another person just was not could not wrap their head around what I was teaching, and just mixing the old way and the new way together, and really having bad results. So we had someone like that. Others were on the verge because they were in that transition phase, and you know, just about switching the paradigm, but still halfway leg, you know, in the previous paradigm, and they were so like, if I'm not gonna get it soon, I'm not gonna continue with this program. And you know, I'm like, well, you're not gonna get it soon. There's the reason why it's 3 months span, you know. And so they decided to stay in, and then now gradually, you know, now they're changing the way to think. Now they're getting some more success. They're getting some good trades in, you know, and they're getting that belief back up to speed that market is a, you know, a friendly place. You know, and the failures that we had is usually whenever we are getting out of tune with the market and lifting our heads up and looking what you know, other people are doing. That is you know, the news and the price projections. That's probably the biggest distractor that you can, and you were in tune with the market, everything was fine, but then there was this distractor like, oh, what if that's going to happen? That's when you're not really following what's happening. That's when we're getting fixated with specific price, and then you're losing that you know, momentum of that dance, and that's where you make a mistake. And because we're using the so-called market maker execution, the trimming pyramid, and all these kind of principles, the market is really safe place for us, because even whenever we really mess up, it kind of takes care of us. You know, that principle, it just these principles just take care of you.
Yeah, and let me interrupt that for a minute, because what he just said is very, very important. That's why I emphasize the dollar cost averaging. You constantly want to be building that hodl. You want it to be growing, and you want to do it through dollar cost averaging. It's just amazing how dollar cost averaging will bail out your bad trades and your mistakes. You're going to make them. Mm-hmm. So, but you see how your equity grows, measured in dollars, but also Bitcoin, and you don't have to be, you want to fluctuate. That doesn't, your hodl can be dynamic. It doesn't need to be static. It doesn't always have to be growing. I mean, mine has gone up and down, but I always have like a base. I'm always gonna have at least this much Bitcoin, and that's where you want to be. And so you change too. For example, I've been out of step in my last 3 to 5 trades. I don't know if you guys can look. I've been clobbered. I actually have given up a Bitcoin. I've taken, I don't know, 31 and a half out, I think. And I actually had, the account was at 4 Bitcoin. And I actually, you know, I drew down at 1 Bitcoin. And you know what? Instead of adding a Bitcoin, what have I done? I took out a Bitcoin. I took another one out, and that's not going to be played. So what I'm doing now is I'm trading less. And I won't trade. You know, that's the discipline I have now, because, you know, 2 Bitcoin, it's not a big deal. Okay. But it is a big deal because I'm publishing that record and you guys are seeing it. And so I actually am sweating that more than when I've had much larger positions on, because I feel very responsible for teaching you guys the right principles. So now I'm having to adjust. I'm getting ready to get back in there, but I have to take a smaller, because I'm only going to have 2 Bitcoin, and I don't want to ever add to that if possible. So that's the game. That's the way you do this. And there's more to life than Bitcoin. There's more to life than Bitcoin trading. And so that's, you know, your hodl is important, but, you know, we save, and that means we reward ourselves as we realize success, and then we build it, meaning we invest in other things apart from Bitcoin. And like I said, the best recent example I have of that is, you know, on the saving, I took my family on a trip for the national parks, and for the builder, we purchased, you know, an 18-passenger bus, which we'll be using for the conference. So this is how you do it, guys. Mm-hmm. It's a full package. It's mm-hmm. not just trading. And Roger's new to Bitcoin, but he's actually the brother of my daughter-in-law, and I said, man, you're a great chef, and I love the stuff that you're doing, but you really need to you know, get on the Bitcoin standard. And so I welcome aboard, Roger, and you're kind of my experiment. There's two kind of entrepreneurs in the world. There's entrepreneurs with Bitcoin and those without. So you're one without. That now I'm going to show how a without Bitcoin entrepreneur can start getting into Bitcoin. It's going to be very important for your generation in the next you know, 20 to 40 years. Probably won't be here in 20 years, and I know I won't be here in 40 years. But it is a very important thing for your generation to learn and to do it right. And that's basically, you know, I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made. So that's what I'm here for. Hey, I feel very successful because I hear from you guys all the time that you know, subscribers, how the success stories they've had. They've been able to, you know, change their way of trading. And then what Kestutis has done, he's taken it to the next level. And, you know, this is a whole package. The whole package is, you know, we need the next big wave in Bitcoin, and it's going to be the biggest one we've ever had. It's going to be because of entrepreneurs getting on the Bitcoin standard. It's not going to be banking the unbanked. The unbanked aren't banked for a reason. There might be a few exceptions, but for the most part, you know, they're not even forward enough thinking, you know, for a week in advance. So, okay, so tell us more. What's your vision now, Bitcoin Master Chef? What's your vision for the way I see it, what you're talking about is a constantly changing diet and doing new things. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
That is what I'm talking about, Ugly. I'm also talking about being fearless and being able to be off of the beaten path, and creating a lifestyle where we're not dependent on mainstream sources of income. Right now, I'm offering all of my the rest of 2019 monthly Soul Cucina cookbooks that are online that I give out to all of my my followers that support Soul Cucina. I'm giving out the rest of the year's cookbooks, October, November, and December to all of the Bitcoin cruise members, everyone that signs up, everyone that's already signed up, and everyone that will sign up. I have them out there anyhow.
Okay, so we have another, I linked your new Twitter, but I didn't link your old one. So it's Soul Cucina. Is what he's been, and I said, you know what, you need to be the Bitcoin Master Chef. So he kind of got that handle too. But
I'm looking forward to this.
So I just want to, we'll put that in the links. I'll have Eddie, you can do that. We'll put that in the links so you can go to that. You come on the cruise, you're going to get his entire cookbook. Can you kind of outline your history and where, because I know you've cooked all over the world. You've been invited to special events just to cater to those things. Can you just give us a history of some of the things that you've done?
Oh, sure. Well, I started out making pizzas as a teenager in Chicago, and working with Italian cuisine and making pastas from scratch. I studied Johnson & Wales studied culinary arts, and in South Carolina, where I've worked with a lot of big time chefs doing low country cuisine, a lot of Southern cuisine where we do doing the nose to tail, using the whole entire animal. And from there, I went on and began my culinary adventures through Spain. I traveled with some gypsy chefs, learning the cuisine of the gypsies of Northern Africa and Southern Spain, and the route of their cuisine, which started in India. Then I went and studied with chefs in Rajasthan and Gujarat, in Bombay and Goa. And then from there, I've taken my cuisine on to mentor young people. And so it's great to be part of a mentorship now, learning the Bitcoin world from the old ugly goat. Having been on the other side of the table in the culinary world, I've cooked for famous artists, presidents, and I've cooked for the Dalai Lama. I organized the 80th birthday ceremony for the Dalai Lama, and cooked a big meal for him and all of his supporters and his colleagues, like Dolores Huerta, just a few years ago.
Where was that? Where did you do that?
This is in Irvine, California. I started a program that was Campus as a Living Lab, doing permaculture and healthy foodways for staff and students, and also for the local community there. And we hosted the Dalai Lama on his actual 80th birthday. He had a few 80th birthday parties around the world, but on his actual 80th birthday, he celebrated with the Center for Living Peace, which was my sponsor for the program that I was working for. And there, we just cooked a huge feast, and we had a huge celebration. I actually organized the celebration and invited a bunch of food trucks from Los Angeles and in Orange County. We had musicians and art, and a lot of organizations came out to support. But along this journey, I've always been kind of below the radar. I started the underground restaurant movement in San Francisco. Before they were called pop-ups, we used to call them underground restaurants. And so we were always working with alternative economies and working with gifting economies and trading and bartering. Even today, now I live in an alternative eco village in Oaxaca, in the Sierra Sur, in the mountains, about 3 hours outside of Oaxaca City. And there I teach cooking workshops for youth and for professionals and homeschoolers that are on an educational system that's off the grid. They come and study with me for anywhere from just a course that could be an afternoon, or for a few weeks or a few months. And we do a lot of trading and bartering. My neighbors grow their own pre-Hispanic organic heirloom corn, and then they do the nixtamalization process to make tortillas, and they're all handmade tortillas, and we do a trading system. I'll do a cooking course for their youth to give them skills so that they can have the confidence to go out into the workforce in urban areas throughout Mexico and even travel beyond Mexico. Or I'll simply just create a special meal for them, for their family, for quinceañeras or birthdays or graduations. And in return, they have their own sheep. And so I get sweaters from them that they weave, and tortillas. And it's an alternative economy there. That's why I'm very excited about working under your wing, Ugly, working with Bitcoin, and it's an exciting territory.
Well, that's kind of a come down from the Dalai Lama to an ugly old goat. But
for me, it's the come up, though. You know, it's the come up for the Dalai Lama. That Dalai Lama event, I worked for about 2 months with a lot of stress and a lot of hours, a lot of energy, and I came out with a couple $1,000 at the end of it. And I feel like working with Bitcoin, I'll be able to support my family a little better. So it's the come up for me.
More rewards and less stress, hopefully. Yeah. The other thing I want to mention to everybody is that, unlike me, Roger's fluent in Spanish, and we have a lot of Spanish-speaking speakers. Of course, we've got Juan Villicana, who's working with me on a sequential for personal equity. We also have Juan Galt from Colombia. So we're going to have a good percentage of Spanish-speaking, contributors, which is great because, I live in Mexico. I just, I have this, always wanted to speak Spanish, but can't, and I'm sure I got it. It's kind of like, I know how to trade, but boy, I wish I knew how to speak Spanish, and I don't know what all psychological things I have to do to break through the barrier. But I mean, I do get a bit from osmosis, but I know that you're very fluent, and I envy you for that. So that's another reason I kind of wanted to have you on there, because I really want our Spanish speaking people around the world, because my wife is Mexican, and that's where, I mean, her big coming market is going to be in the Spanish speaking world. If you speak Spanish and English, you pretty well have the world, the languages of the world at your fingertips. You can get by anywhere. I mean, English is number one, but Spanish, I think, is number two after that. So that's the way I view it.
That's why French
we
are
got it
so
on
stuff.
lockdown here in the Americas.
Pardon? Yeah, I need to come down there. You're in Cuernavaca, or where are you at right now?
Down south.
In Mexico?
I'm in Oaxaca, Ugly.
Oh, you're in Oaxaca. Okay, Oaxaca.
Yeah, in the
Cuernavaca,
mountains of
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca, in the southern mountains, 3 hours south of Oaxaca City.
All right. Well, we might come down there and visit you sometime. I'm thinking about taking a trip, over the Christmas holidays, take the van and do some driving down there. And that, I don't know where, but that's another trip. This is the time we have children 7, 13, and 17. And I really want them to see, we got to see the national parks, this last month, and I want them to be able to see Mexico. I think it's important to travel when you're young, if it's possible, and it can afford to do it. So I'm very fortunate that I am able to do that. So anyway, well, I think you're going to do just great. I think I'm excited about it, and I think I think you're going to find a whole new. Bitcoin is a very diverse community, and it really is. And people that are into Bitcoin are, for the most part, particularly if they're Bitcoin only people, they have a long-term perspective, and they're generally very good people to do business with. That's what I've found. And so, and I know, if you have particularly, of course, you have to have a product that people want, and, being a master chef, I know I like to eat, and I do like that variety of food. So, I think you can do very, very well at being the SawCruteez and also a Bitcoin master chef. And I'm looking forward to see where you take this thing. I really am. So
We're taking it down the flavor highway, Ugly.
yeah. Yeah, and Roger's going to help a little bit on the organization. My problem is I always need somebody to kind of clean up my messes, and so. But number one is his mother, Eileen. I don't know if she's coming on tonight or not, but she's absolutely been great running this thing. I want to emphasize.
Yeah, today's her birthday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It's Eileen's birthday today?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Well, then, well, she can't come on then. Shoot, no. I hope she's out celebrating somewhere with somebody. So we can't be with her, but she's a great, I tell you, well, I think I already covered this. When your father passed on, that's when I really became an admirer of hers, because I never saw anyone that organized things so well. And it was Roger's dad was diagnosed years before he passed of having a brain tumor, and they didn't know if it was just going to be weeks or months or years. And he did happen to get kind of the maximum prediction 2 or 3 years, I think, after he was diagnosed. So everyone knew that it was coming, but the way that Eileen arranged for his passing, and it was in she had a private home, and it just the whole family was there. It was really I've never experienced anything like that, and so when I wanted to do this cruise, I thought, the perfect person that I want to help me with this and help me organize this is Eileen, because she's just a very organized person, and cleans up my messes. and like I say, it was when your father died, it was the way she handled that was just a very moving experience for me. It just really was. So it was she's a great woman. Great woman. All right. So I don't know if I want to emphasize just one more time. I'm going to repeat this one more time. So if you are a member, if you sign up for the cruise, okay, we will give you a free membership that you can hand off to somebody. If you're not a member, you can become a member by going on the cruise. And make sure you sign up through one of our members, because if you sign up through one of our members, then you get a 15% discount off of the price. The price is a 1/20 of an ounce of Bitcoin, which at $9,500, or what is that? That's about $450, and you get 15% off of that. So it's going to be right around $400, let's say, under 400. And then I'll give a free lifetime subscription with that. If you've already signed up, I'm going to give you a free lifetime subscription that you can just hand off to somebody else as a gift for this during the holidays. And then what else? Oh, you're going to get the perk or the trading system, and it's not a trading system, it's equity sequential system, where you just basically charge your equity. So you can kind of figure out, hey, I'm in the groove, I'm making a lot, and it's time maybe I should slow down. It's just a way to measure yourself. And Roger's going to give you his recipe book, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right. Every month we come out with the new SawCruteez e-cookbook. So for the rest of the year, starting in October, you'll receive October, November, December cookbooks. Okay,
that sounds good. So guys, there it is. You're going to get a lot of value. I've told you that all along. I'm doing nothing but working on this. We did a show the other day with SawCruteez, who was the apprentice with Tyler Jenks. And he's going to do his best to outline the 10 pillars of Bitcoin, which Tyler mentioned on a Saturday night live. And unfortunately, I didn't let him expound on them. I wish I had now, but we're going to see what we can do, see if we can expound on them. And he was a big influence on me. He taught me the 5 pillars of Bitcoin. He also came up with some great phrases like Bitcoin's not ready for prime time yet. And he also came up with a great one, scraping the barnacles off the ship, where, that's the problem we have with Bitcoin. We have all these altcoins, and what people need to understand, there's only going to be one standard, and the competition is going to be on that standard. That standard is going to be Bitcoin, but it's a process that's hard to learn. One of the hardest things that even sometimes, and that's the first step, before you can get comfortable with dollar cost averaging and managing your funds, you have to first come to the conclusion Bitcoin is the standard, and it's Bitcoin and Bitcoin alone. And that can take some time. And most of us, I don't know if you've ever, how much you've heard about Bitcoin or the alternatives of the crypto world. I don't consider myself part of the crypto world or cryptocurrencies. I'm a Bitcoin standard bearer, and it's Bitcoin alone. There's very good reasons for that. But when people come into this new, Roger, like you, the first thing they do is they feel like they missed out on something. And so they're trying to find the next Bitcoin, and something that's, this one's even better. And they're all marketed as being better than Bitcoin. And it's a misnomer if you're thinking of that way. Just, you're a real newbie. This is going to be good because you're a real newbie. Give us your thoughts of cryptocurrency, where you are now. What have you been told? What are you interested in? and then we'll see where you're at in 6 months or a year. But just give us a little bit. You're a typical newbie here. Let's I've already told you Bitcoin only, but have you, before I mention that, have you looked into other cryptocurrencies and altcoins, or just where are you at on this thing?
Well, yeah, I have actually, Ugly, and I hate to say it because I always like to think of myself as being kind of outside of the mainstream and being kind of unique and different. But I think you really pinned it on the head here when you said that when I heard about Bitcoin and I'm decided to get into cryptocurrencies, that I feel like I kind of missed the boat, and I'm so much of a newbie and I'm late that I want to find something new. And it's true. Everyone's been telling me, oh, forget about Bitcoin because you missed the boat on that. And it just kept going up and up and up for so long. And and you're crazy if you're thinking that now is a good time to get in. Everyone that's making money off of it, they're people that have been in from earlier on, and it's too late now. So I have had my vision on finding something new and a new type of currency. So it actually brings a lot of excitement to me to hear about the Bitcoin standard and the possibilities of getting involved late in the game as a newcomer and being successful.
Roger, you're not late in the game. Okay, that's probably the biggest misconception in Kestutis. Hey, I see Bitcoin Motorist. You're there. Can you find our link? And we'd love to have you on the show. Bitcoin Motorist, get on this thing. Bitcoin Motorist be a great guy to talk to about it too. But you're not too late. Okay. It's just always everybody. I bought it at $100, and I thought I was too late because I could have bought it under $1. Okay, so
yeah,
you need to understand why Bitcoin is unique, and it's unique because it's organic. The reason it's unique is it had no value for a year and a half, zero. I mean, people they believed in it, and it is absolutely. You talk about organic food. Well, Bitcoin is the only organic digital currency that we have, and that's one of the things that makes it unique. And so it is. You kind of have to get by that hurdle, and yeah, there is pain. It's going to be almost impossible not to get in the market and experience some kind of adversity. So, but the difference is there's nobody promoting Bitcoin except Bitcoiners. There's no centralization behind it. All these other, alts are being subsidized or promoted in different ways. But so what other? I'm just curious. What have you heard? Have you heard about anything other than Bitcoin, and what have you heard about?
No, I just for me personally, I just was excited to explore alternatives as well, because as you said, it seems like it's something that I'm coming in late to the game. So no, I
and you're not late. You're not late in the game at all. It's just you're later than some, but you're earlier than most. Than the best. You're earlier than 99% of the people. So at any rate.
It's actually all coming at a great moment for me in my career now, because I'm switching to less physical time and more digital time. So before I used to, and there's a lot of parallels with Bitcoin and alternative economies, and also well, I think there's a lot of parallels with the way the economy of Bitcoin in working with funnels and working with multiplying my clients and my customers. Instead of me teaching a workshop and being physically in a classroom and having 20 people come to my workshop, I'm now starting to do virtual vlogging and online workshops where my clientele are from all around the world, and I'm trying to put some of that same energy and same thinking into investing, where instead of investing my time with 10 people, I'm investing my time with multitudes of people, and from all of those people, it's funnels out beyond those people to more people because it continues to grow exponentially. So I'm
Yeah, and
trying
you know,
trying to
and
move that into-
everybody does this differently, and particularly in Bitcoin, you know, I'm kind of unique because most of the people that are, you know, that you know have succeeded in the last few years in Bitcoin. I started in 2013. I really never even considered getting into a Bitcoin business other than trading until probably 2017, and I started writing on Medium, and I thought I had things that I wanted to share with people on trading and you know the proper approach to Bitcoin, and it really took up. Plus, I was a very successful trader, and one of my mentors who taught me a lot of fundamentals was Tone Vays, and he just taught me a world about Bitcoin in a way that, you know, a non-technical person can understand. And incidentally, that's what this cruise is about. This is for entrepreneurs. We're not going to be programmers or developers or things like that. The way you build on Bitcoin is you build whatever your specialty is. And in your case, you're a chef. Now, you are going to be a unique chef because you're going to be a chef on the Bitcoin standard, which is going to really change the way that you're going to be thinking and doing things, because it's going to give you a much longer term perspective. And you won't see that for a year or two or three. But the thing that for example, on one of the reasons I like a Medium is, you know, I'm old school. I'm 70 years old, and writing is the way things, you know, are preserved in books, you know, the way I see it. And so when I write these articles, they are kind of a step-by-step. If you notice, my articles are built step-by-step, precept upon precept, and the first one kind of relates to the second, the third, and then they kind of all bundle together. And when I write an article, a lot of times I point people to the other articles because it is systematic. And so, in a way, you know, people that they want to quantify trading. In a way, you do quantify. You want to have a systematic way of looking at things. You want to be logical, but by the same token, trading is an art. It's not a science. So those are two different things. And I always say, you know, what the world is doing out there is the chart. That's the objective. That's what everybody's looking at. That's the objective world. You know, it doesn't really matter what Bitcoin does, because the Bitcoin price really doesn't. You haven't had Bitcoin and your life has gone on, right, Roger? You never needed Bitcoin, right? So so it's really not that important, okay? But but that's the objective part. But what is important is you. And so what we need to do is plug you in. So you can measure. It's a better way of measuring yourself, and that's what the best way that I try and explain it. Kestutis, have you heard this conversation? Do you want to give your 2 cents worth, a little advice for Roger now, the up and coming Bitcoin master chef?
Yes. Well, the way he thinks is you know, you know, I don't want to like offend you, Roger, or anything. I'm just saying that things just like a newbie would entering the market, who's really, really smart, and you know, approaches the market with that logic. So we all start, you know, at that point, and that's fine to think that. And I know that your views are going to, you know, keep evolving and keep going towards the direction where all of us kind of end up concluding about, and you know, and things just become so elegant and simple. So I'm sure you're just gonna have a lot of fun in that journey.
Well, the best thing you have is you're in with some very good mentors, and you've already learned that. I mean, you learned to cook. You didn't learn to cook. I mean, I'm sure you went to school, but that's not where you really learned to become a chef. Is it? How did you told us how you learned? Did you go to a school too, or was it mainly just being an apprentice and learning under other masters?
Well, I was privileged to actually go to school and study and work doing stages and internships and mentorship. So I've had a number of mentors throughout my career, both young and as I've been in the later stages in my career. I still continue to study. As a matter of fact, I visited a chef today in Oaxaca City who is one of my more recent mentors, and I study with them learning Mexican moles. So yeah, I understand and value and appreciate the power of mentorship.
I'm not a mole fan, but I mean, it's okay. But boy, I'm a birria fan. And, you know, there's nothing like a homemade tortilla off of a wooden stove, you know, in some little town in Mexico. So, I mean, the Mexican diet is so much better than the American diet. It's just, it's a night and day difference. That's one, you know, if you like to eat, you want to live in Mexico. Everything else may not quite work as well, but the food's great.
That's true. That's true. But I'll tell you, Ugly, when you come out here to Oaxaca, you'll find that our moles here are a lot different from the moles up north. And mole is just sauce. So we've got tons of moles, tons of sauces, and they're all different colors, different thicknesses, different ingredients. So
really,
I guarantee we'll find
well, that'd be, yeah, because the color doesn't really. You actually have different colored moles. Okay.
Oh yeah, because you guys are used to mole poblano, which is a brownish black color mole. We have yellow, red, green. We have all sorts of mole. Some are thin like a soup, and some are thick like a gravy. So you'll love it out here. We also have a great programs here for the kids too. When you come out, we always are working on kids camps, doing outdoor survival skills, and working on Montessori education for young people, both in Spanish and English. So when you come out, man, we're gonna get some great shows done for the Bitcoin chef and Ugly Old Goat, and you'll be turned on to
what's the best time to come down there anyway? How's the weather down there in the summer?
It's rain season, so it rains a lot. If you like being chilly and wet, it's no problem. We're out in the mountains and we go out and we forage for wild mushrooms and cook them in quesadillas and tacos.
Oh, I love wild mushrooms.
Oh, I can walk from my house and in 15 minutes come back with a huge basket full of a bunch of different types of wild mushrooms. You can see.
Really? Are they like beefsteak mushrooms, or are they different than that? Are they like the beefsteak?
We've got tons of different. There's many varieties, hundreds of different varieties that are edible. But you have to know what you're looking for, because there's also hundreds of different varieties that are lethal. So, but you have a lot of different.
You have to know what you do.
Yeah.
So that's one way, I guess, that a lot of wives just get rid of their husband. They forget and serve them the wrong mushrooms. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. We've lost a few neighbors that way. But the rain season is over in December. So come in December, January, February if you want to be here when it's dry. But then it starts getting warmer then too, you know.
Okay, well, that's what I'm thinking about doing, is that time of year, sometime between. I haven't even mentioned it to the goat lady yet. I don't know if she's coming here tonight or not. I should give her a call. I don't think she is. We're so busy, and she's getting caught up after being gone a month. It's just incredible. Oh, I got a special announcement, but I'm just going to tell you about it, and that is I'm going to have a big surprise next Thursday. It's going to go on for several days, and I'm going to leave it at that. So hopefully I won't lose my phone. I'll be able to tweet. Anissa and I are going to be doing something special. We're going to share it with everybody on Twitter. And, you know, like I say, my goal, what I'm working on, sorry if my subscribers feel like I'm letting you down a little bit, but I really am working seriously on this conference. I'm also looking, I'm talking with Juan Galt, because I think he might be able to professionally video live stream, and we also need to record and then edit the entire program. So we'll be doing that, and I think Zezo, will and my son will hopefully work under him. And of course, you're going to be there to help your mother, right? In case she needs some help on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we need. And even if do you know much about video recording or anything like that?
I trained as a youth doing videos all across America, and I teach young people how to make videos with purpose and content.
Okay, well, yeah, well, you know what, that's, we kind of need everybody to pitch in. I want to make, I really want this to be, you know, we're learning that here. When you come down, you know, it's another thing we need to go. It's just Eddie and I, and we just kind of struggle through things. And you know, my next goal is I just need to get, start building a staff and, you know, trying to go to the next level on this thing. But it's all going to come, you know, it's got to be just like on trading. You know, I devoted 10 Bitcoin to start this thing, but it's got to go on its own. And the same with your trading. You start with two Bitcoin, and like Kestutis did, and he's built it into 10. Hey, you know, if you're trading with 2 Bitcoin, you better have at least 10, because you shouldn't be trading with 2 Bitcoin unless you have at least 10, and you should probably be trading with less. But you can actually start trading with as little as $100, and that's what the other thing that Kestutis is working with. You know, that's what we want to teach. We want to be able to teach people the right principles in trading, because there's really only one fatal mistake, and that's if you mismanage your funds. And that's what we try and avoid with all costs. So, well, I think I'm done. We'll keep it short tonight. You got anything else you want to say, Roger? Or I'll start out with you, Roger, and end it with Gus.
I just want to thank you for inviting me, Ugly, and Kestutis. Thank you very much for the support and advice. And I actually look forward to hitting you up in the future. Ugly says that you specialize not only in doing the big deals, but also starting out small. So I hope to get some direction from you. And Ugly, with your new staff and everything, I hope we can make room for our new show. I bought a new computer today, and now I'm just working in California for a month so I can get a new camera and lights and microphone and everything to get going on the show, because starting this.
I'm really excited about. I want to get the video down on everything better. We're doing better. I mean, our first ones were disaster, but the next year I want to get through this cruise, and then we've got a basic thing, but we need to make everything look better. I mean, we're not ready for prime time. We don't pretend that we are, but we're going to be moving in that direction, and you know, it can be done. And there's I was able to get bitcoinnation.org. I'm hoping to write some articles. I think it's very important that I write. Kestutis actually inspired me with this friend. What's his first name?
Jan.
That, you know, they realize that Bitcoin is really the new America. And I think that it's not only a new America, but it's actually going to be a new it's going to be a new nation without any land. We're not protecting land at all. The only thing we're protecting is Bitcoin. And that's our land, and that's what we protect, and that's what we fight for. And and we do have enemies, big ones. So it's going to be a challenge, but you know, everybody's up for it. And you know, I can tell you, yeah, we hopefully we've learned from mistakes. The protocol has been built on the intellectual past of giants, you know, like von Mises and F.A. Hayek and Henry Hazlitt and E.C. Harwood. And so, you know, we have those guys really set the foundation. And then once we figured out the technology, and, you know, I read some interesting theories from Beauty on, which I'm going to start following him more, because he basically just argues, you know, Bitcoin it's not even money. It's just a protocol. It's really a matter of just free speech, because it's really nothing more than text, which I really never thought of it that way, because, you know, I'm always looking at it as money. But at any rate, so yeah, I know that you're good at what you do, man. And I think it'd be exciting to see where you go with this. It'll be really exciting. And I think it's going to, and you're fluent in 2 languages, and it's going to just open up the whole world. There's going to be the big conferences for in Latin America. There's a Latin America Bitcoin conference every year, first part of December. I think this year it's going to be in Uruguay. And hopefully we can hit that. So you might look into that too. You might want to come.
I'd love to pack my knives up and come out and cook for some Bitcoiners and be part of the movement.
Yeah. I think that you might really get along down there because, it's a lot of it's English, but most of it's in Spanish. So you would really hit it off. So, all right, Gus, anything you want to say?
Yeah, it was really nice meeting you, Roger. I mean, I'm actually blown away how cool your traveling, chef life is. You travel all these different places. You get to experience, firsthand, their culture, their cooking, and it sounds such a freeing and cool life. So I'm very glad that I met you. And another side of the coin that you are planning, obviously, to take this position, right? The Bitcoin Master Chef, which is vacant right now, and you have this big shoes to fill, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, you ain't seen nothing yet. We all we did say, hey, this slot's available. You need to grab it.
I'm taking it, Ugly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I already know if I didn't think you were fully qualified for it and couldn't live up to it, I wouldn't have even suggested it. But boy, when I saw, like I say, if you find a better kitchen than that one I found, I'd like to see it because that's the most beautiful kitchen I've ever seen anywhere. That's what
we got to book it for an event. Man. I'm ready.
They invited you. The guy that was there. Oh, please have him give us contact us. So. They weren't doing a whole lot of business. So, a special event, I'm sure you could fill up. I didn't realize it, but Jackson Hole is the richest county in the world. I didn't realize I guess part of the reason is, most of the land up there is owned by the government. And so the little bit of free land that's out there is I think that the median home value is $3.5 million. That's what I was told.
Economically dense.
And I know a lot of big names that live out there. A lot of the financial elite, but also a lot of stars. I know Harrison Ford is out there, and it is just an absolutely stunning view, and it was just incredible. So. Anyway, that's where that's from. Hopefully, we didn't get to see as much as Yellowstone as I wanted, but we sure saw a lot. We made we weren't planning on it, but we were so close. We made the last stop at Grand Canyon, and that always fascinates me. So, just overwhelming. And I just got done reading that book on all the deaths in Grand Canyon. It was kind of a morbid story, but it was. I had to read it because it was. I look over that. That's my first thing. Guys, how many people have fallen off of this thing? And there's a lot. So, all right. Guys, thanks so much for coming on. We'll keep this one short tonight. Lots of fun. Keep tuned. I promise you next Thursday, I'll have a special announcement, and we're going to have lots of fun for a few days. I want to sell out this cruise. It's not sold out yet. I want to not only sell it out, I want to book it as much as we can. We're going to test Carnival. If they haven't booked seats, then maybe we can get more than 60, but we are limited to 60, including the speakers. And I'm not even sure that I'm done getting speakers yet. I don't mind the expense. I just want this to be a high quality seminar, and it's for the average working man. And that's what this is geared for. We're not going to be learning, code or, all the theories behind Bitcoin. Keep it simple and stupid, because
I was going to say that.
Yeah, that's where we're none of us attending are intellectual giants. Okay. We're just regular guys that love Bitcoin, and that's where we're going. So good night. Oh, we got to end. Roger, you've never done this before. This is what I do. This is my way to teach. It's repetition. And what it is HODL. have to hodl, and that means you buy Bitcoin and you hodl it, you hold it because it's a lot. It can go down after you buy it sharply even, and then you save it. And saving it means once you have a hodl, occasionally you want to sell it, and maybe when you start out, upgrade your computer or treat yourself to something. And then the last thing is you build and that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be building a new business based on Bitcoin. And that doesn't mean you're throwing away everything else you've done. You're just building a new one. And so part of what you're going to realize is as you go along, you're going to be investing in other things. And we don't know what that means. For example, we bought this 18-passenger bus that we're going to be using for the conference. And that's just how it works in the long run. But it has to be a long run. It's long-term thinking. And we call it the Bitcoin standard. We're not part of the crypto world, and we're part of the Bitcoin standard. So the way we reinforce that is we do a little ugly old goat stupid dance, and we'll get up here and do it. Here we go. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Save, save, save. Build it. Sound money. Sound money. Go on, guys. We're all kind of silly, but hey, you know what? It works. Bye-bye.